Welcome everyone, Nancy Hlasek, back here with you to practice our sixth intermediate or mat class of yoga. So again, over the next couple of months, over the winter season, you'll have a good 6 classes to kind of circulate through and help you continue your practice. Even if you do just a few minutes of yoga a day, it's really going to be beneficial. So today we'll be focusing on twists. And I'll just caution you, if you've had recent surgery, thoracic abdominal surgery, if you have a hernia, if you're having abdominal problems today, the twists are not the best thing to be doing. You could probably do a few gentle ones, but don't go into the extreme ones. Twists are really beneficial for the spine and for the internal organs. But again, if you've had any of those issues, just do a different movement or different posture while we're engaged in those movements. Today also, I'd like to just briefly go over things that will help our immune system as we're coming into the winter months here. For colds, for flu, for the virus that is out there right now, the best thing that we can do is try to keep a healthy immune system. So I'll be reading from Yoga Journal magazine. I'm going to come down to the mat and just sit in an easy seated pose here for a few moments. This was from the November-December issue, 2020 issue of Yoga Journal magazine. And over these next months, if you have the opportunity and you choose, you can go to a bookstore and look for some yoga magazines. There's just hundreds of books out there, yoga books. So look through a few and see if one resonates with you and perhaps purchase that and practice if you can. So this article is called 5 Mindful Tips to Beat Stress and Boost Your Immune System. Your immune system at work. Your immune system illustrates your body's intrinsic ability to heal. It fights foreign invaders by sending an army of white blood cells through the bloodstream and a fluid called lymph through your lymphatic system. Asana and pranayama, or the postures and the breath work that we do, aid this filtering process by encouraging flow and movement of lymph. So 5 tips now to build your immunity. Number 1, stay connected to others and share your kindness. Humans are social animals designed for connection. So check in with people, friends, family, neighbors. Check in and offer support. Helping others gives you a mission, purpose, and meaning. Second, do more yoga. Even a few minutes or poses or inversions carries infection-fighting white blood cells through your system. 3, cultivate calm with mindful breathing. Elongated exhalations stimulate your vagus nerve, which gives your heart a signal to slow down and activates your rest, digest, and rejuvenate response. So just sit still for a few moments and focus on your breathing. And remember that longer exhalation can really help you release and relax. So perhaps take a 4-count in-breath and a 6-count exhalation, or a 6-count in-breath, an 8-count exhalation, or you can go up even farther than that if you choose. Again, simply sit tall and breathe deeply. Then practice meditation. Meditation trains your brain and body to increase the efficacy of the relaxation response. Here's a visualization to try. Imagine a light within you. Imagine that light at the heart center, and allow it to expand with each breath. See it grow beyond your body, your home, your city, and nation, and visit your light touching the light of others surrounding you. And then the 5th suggestion is to rest up. Sleep is key to keeping distress down and immunity up. So again, some good advice from Yoga Journal magazine. Again, this was the November and December issue, and a larger-bodied woman here doing yoga beautifully. We always talk about we don't have to be a certain shape or size to practice yoga. And the previous month's issue shows a gentleman who lost his leg in a motorcycle accident when he was 25. And he does yoga beautifully with an artificial limb going all the way up to the hip. And in here it shows him in the tree posture standing on that artificial limb. And so yoga is truly for everybody. Yoga really helps us connect with the body's inner wisdom and become more present in your body, move out of your thinking mind. So as we go into the opening Shavasana here, you can do a seated one or you can lie down on your mat. Just think of the thoughts that are constantly racing through your mind. And we want to quiet those thoughts. So remember the snow globes that many of us had as kids and how excited we were to shake them and just watch those flakes settle to the bottom. So imagine your mind at first being that snow globe that's been shaken, and those thoughts are floating everywhere. Those flakes of snow are floating everywhere. And just visualize them settling down to the bottom of that snow globe. Again, close the eyes, quiet the mind, let go of concerns of the past or the future, and just bring yourself present. Let's stay in this quiet place now for just a few minutes as we prepare for our practice. And then you can bring your awareness back to the room, to this place and time, and you can slowly open the eyes. I consider Shavasana, or that period of relaxation, to be the doorway to meditation. So basically all you'd have to do is stay in that state a little bit longer, perhaps 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. That's all you have to do. Over time you can build it up to a longer period of time. But even a few minutes of quiet in your day of meditation is very, very beneficial. So we'll come down to the mat now and begin our practice here. We can use that yoga roll down, again using core strength to bring ourselves slowly back to the mat. And then just extend yourself fully out. Feet are flexed now. Make sure you're nicely aligned on both sides of the body. And we're going to do a full body stretch here. We're going to take the arms overhead if you don't have any shoulder issues. If you do have shoulder issues, keep the arms by the sides of the body and just reach out through the sternum and the crown of the head. But with no issues, we'll extend those arms overhead. Let the backs of the hands rest on the floor. Press out through your heels and reach with your fingertips. Again, we're just creating space in the body here. And then just release and relax, completely melt into the floor beneath you. Draw your legs and feet back together, this time gently pointing your toes. And again, reach away with your fingertips and your toe tips. And once again, release and relax. And then we'll take the hands back down by the hips and we'll walk the feet in towards the buttocks. You can realign yourself if you feel you need to here. And then let's just draw those bent legs deeply into the chest, closely into the chest, and get a good stretch to the low back area. And then release slightly, and you can either just rock from side to side or do some circular patterns or oval patterns with the low back area. And then come back to center, cup your hands over your knees and do your hip circles here. 3 or 4 times in one direction and then go in the opposite direction. And then bring those legs back to center. Extend the feet up and do some bicycle movements. And then do some crossovers, extending the arms and hands up and just crossing over the midline of the body. Very good to balance the 2 hemispheres of the brain. Hands come back down, keep the feet up. Let's have the toes pointed and go out to the side. And then flex the feet, draw your heels back together, and you'll feel the inner thighs working there. Again, point your toes, go out. Flex the feet, come back in. And just do 2 more here. And then come back to center. Let's do a little bit of dead bug. So the legs are extended up, feet are flexed. We extend the arms up towards the feet. Try to keep your shoulder blades down on the mat here though. And then pull the pelvic floor in towards the navel, kind of like a Kegel exercise. And then if you choose, you can bring your head, neck, and shoulders up off the floor. A little bit of core strengthening. Then let's take the hands to the backs of the thighs and bend those legs and take the legs out to the side. This is happy baby pose. Again, the hands can stay on the backs of the thighs, pulling those legs closer to the floor. Or you can reach up for your ankles or perhaps the soles of the feet. And then let's draw the soles of the feet together. You can hold the ankles or the tops of the feet. Let your knees fall out to the side, and then press your elbows into your inner thighs to open up the hips a bit more. And then you can release and bring the feet back to the mat. We're going to do leg extensions. If you want to use your strap, do so. If you have the ability, try something a little bit different and bring that right knee in and see if you can reach your right toe and grasp it with your right thumb, index finger, and middle finger. And then we'll just do the movements with the hand grasping the foot. Again, go ahead and strap the foot with your strap if you choose. We're going to just allow that leg to go off to the right side. Again, go slowly. You don't have to get that foot all the way down to the floor. You do want to keep your left shoulder down. If that pops off the mat, you need to back out of the posture a little bit. You will note that your left hip is going to come off the floor a bit to help facilitate the twist. And then we're going to take that foot back to center. And here you can take hold of the foot and draw it forward again. If you have the strap now, you'll transfer the strap into the left hand and we'll go into a big spinal twist here. Holding on to the big toe, if you're doing that right now, thumb, index finger, middle finger around that big toe, right arm out now. We're going to roll onto the left hip and bring the right leg across the body. And then come back to center. And again, you can see if that leg will come forward a bit more. If you'd like to, you can raise your head, neck, and shoulders up again. And then release carefully, realign yourself, and then we'll do the other side. Again, the opposite leg can be bent or extended, but keep it well grounded. So now we'll be going off to the left side, just allowing that left leg go off to the left side. And then come back to center. Transfer the strap or transfer your hands to the right, and we'll move into a twist on this side. And then we'll come back to center. And you can see if that foot will come forward a bit more. Again, you can do a nose to knee type movement. And then you can release. And then we're going to do legs up the wall, so you'll need your mat close to the wall. And if you have a couple yoga blankets, or you could use a cushion from the sofa or a chair, that will help us get into this inverted position. In this yoga class, because we're seniors, we don't do a lot of the headstands, shoulder stands, and so forth. So Viparita Karani is considered an inversion, and it just kind of flips everything. The flow of blood gets changed, and it's very good for the lymph system as well. I have 2 yoga blankets here up against the wall, and what I'm going to do is scoot up next to the wall and see if I can get myself up on those blankets, and then get the feet up the wall as well. And you want your buttocks fairly close to the wall. I'm going to adjust the blankets just a little bit here. I think I need to bring them up a little bit more. So just scoot as close to that wall as you can. And then we'll take the arms overhead. And by having the hips elevated here, you're getting a little bit more of an inversion. So we're going to do some movements with the feet while we're in this position. So let's just flex the right foot and release, and then flex the left foot and release, and then flex both feet and release. And then we're going to do an external rotation of the legs. So you're going to just turn that right foot out to the side and come back, and then turn the left leg out to the side and back, and then take both out to the side. And again, this is a very restful position. Again, the arms can be extended up here or overhead, or you can have them down alongside the body, whatever feels right for you. I have a hard time napping. It's just not something that suits me well, so just a few minutes of legs up the wall are very, very rejuvenating for me. And then we're going to just bend those legs and roll off to the side. And we'll come into a kneeling position and go into our cat-cow movement here. On an inhalation, we drop the belly down and take the gaze up for cow. And then on the exhalation, we move into cat. Again, inhaling into cow and exhaling into cat. Let's do 2 more. And then come into an easy seated pose with the right leg in front of the left, and have your strap close by here. Again, here's a place where you could be seated on one of those blankets. That'll just help tilt the pelvic area forward a little bit, and it can be a little bit easier to do some of these different movements. So first of all, we'll just do a forward fold with the legs in this position. Again, you don't want the low back to round, so a blanket underneath you would be good if you need it. We're just going to hold on to the shins here and pull ourselves forward just a little bit. And feel that stretch and breathe into it. Breathe, relax, feel, watch, allow the body to move forward gently, easily. Use your breathing, use your exhalations to deepen. And try to find that edge where you know it's a good place to stop. Don't let the ego take hold and cause an injury. If this feels okay, perhaps you can bring your palms to the floor in front of you. Take a few breaths. If that feels okay, perhaps you can come down onto your forearms. But again, always, always listen to your own body. We don't compete with anybody else, and we know that we're not even competing with ourselves because every day we bring a different body and mindset to the practice, and we're going to honor that. And then we're going to come up part way and take the hands to either side of the bent right leg. And you can kind of press into the mat and torque yourself a little bit more to the right so your spinal column is in alignment with the middle of that knee. Again, sitting tall and leading with the heart center, you can come forward and down. Again, listen to your body, deepen on exhalations. And this is a movement where the body is often quite tight the first time around. So you could do this 2 or 3 times, alternating from side to side. And every time you'll probably get a little bit closer to that knee. But again, don't let the ego take hold. You should feel a pretty intense stretch through the low back area, especially the left side. And then we're going to come back up and come back to center. And then we recross the legs. Sukhasana. Sukha means easy, and seated pose. Again, now we're going to come forward with the left leg in front. We're sitting tall. You can just take your hands to your knees or your shins, come forward just a little bit. See how it feels. Coming back up, taking the hands on either side of the bent left leg now. We'll sit tall, align the spine over that center of the left knee. Again, use your hands here to help you come forward and down. And we'll press up. Coming back to center. Let's try that one more time on each side and see if we've loosened up a little bit here. So again, right foot in front of the left. Coming forward first. Remember, it takes time for the muscles and the other connective tissues to stretch. Remember, many of the connective tissues, the tendons and ligaments, do not have their own blood supply. They need to draw nourishment from surrounding tissues. So it's really important to stay well hydrated. And then we'll come back up. Again, one hand on either side of the bent right knee, aligning the spine over the center of that knee, and slowly coming forward. Perhaps you're just a tiny bit closer to the knee. And then we'll press back up. And we're going to recross. Again, sitting tall, leading with the heart center coming forward. And then press back up. And let's walk the hands to either side of the bent left knee. Again, sit tall, aligned over the center of the knee. Come forward and down. And then we'll come back up and back to center. Let's do a little bit of work for the neck while we're seated here. So the shoulders are down, the neck is long. We're going to just tuck the chin toward the chest. And you do want to keep some space. Otherwise, you go into a locking position that blocks energy. So maybe just an inch or so away from the chest. And then we'll keep the chin tucked and rotate it over toward the left shoulder. Hold over here, keep breathing. Come back to center, keep the chin tucked, rotate it toward your right shoulder. And come back to center. Now start looking up and down. On the inhalation, scoop your chin forward and up. And then on the exhalation, bring the chin back down. Again, inhaling, scooping forward and up. Try not to over-arc the back of the neck. And then on the exhalation, come back down. And one more time, scooping forward and up. Exhale back down. And then draw the head up so chin is parallel to the floor. We're going to take the ears towards the shoulders now. So right side first, inhale up and over, right ear moving toward the right shoulder. Again, you can always add the weight of the right hand to just increase the stretch a little bit if you choose. And then come back to center. Inhale up and over, now left ear moving toward the left shoulder. Coming back up. Then place your fingertips at the base of the head with your elbows out to the side. Press in and back. And then release and bring the heel of the right hand above your right ear. Press in and back. Release and take the heel of the left hand above your left ear and press in and back. And then release. Let's do some side stretching here. So we'll take the left hand out away from the left hip. We'll float the right arm out and turn the palm up. And we'll inhale and sweep that arm and hand overhead and then off to the left side. And okay to bend that left arm and increase the stretch just a bit. And then lift, coming back to center. And then recross your legs, right in front of left. Now your right hand is away from the right hip. Float your left arm out, turn that palm up, inhale and sweep overhead. And then on the exhalation, tip to the right. Feel that beautiful stretch. Okay to sigh. And then come back to center. And then let's twist to the right. Inhale and elongate the spine. Exhale, rotate to the right. Left hand taking the outside of your right thigh. And just take that right arm out behind you. And bring yourself back to center. Recrossing the legs again, left in front of right. Now twisting to the right side. Float those arms out. Inhale and elongate. Exhale and rotate now to the left. Right hand taking the outside of that left thigh and the left arm just going out behind you. And coming back. And remember, whenever you can do the twist safely, it's so good for the spine and also for all the internal organs. So we're going to do shoulder movements while we're seated here today. Can be done standing as well. Again, find your sit bones, take a broad grasp of your strap. We're going to inhale up and then exhale down. Again, the strap can stay in front of the body. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And the last one. And then take the strap overhead or in front of the body and we'll do side bending. Inhale as you pull down with the right hand, lift up with the left. And then on your exhalation, come back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back. Off to the right. Back to center. Off to the left, back to center, one more time to the right, and back, and left, and back. And then we'll add a twist. Twist to the right, come back to center, twist to your left, come back to the right, and back, and left, and back. One more time to the right, and back, and left, and back. We'll put the strap off to the side. While we're seated here, let's go into a wide-legged forward fold and then a twist. So again, walk those sit bones back or sit on a cushion or a blanket. And we'll come forward here. Again, listening to your body. Hands can walk down the tops of the legs if you'd prefer. And then let's press back up. And then just a little bit more twisting here. Keep your feet flexed. We'll do a two-part twist so the arms float out. First of all, you're just going to twist to the left. Arms are parallel to the floor. And then you're going to reach down and see if you can touch those left toes. You come back up, you're still facing left, and then you pivot back to center. Twist to the right, then reach down, come back up, and back to center. To the left, reach down, come back up, back to center, to the right, reach down, come back up, and back to center. And then we'll draw the feet together and just sit in cobbler for a moment. Again, if you have knee issues, the legs can come farther out in front of you, and this would just be called clamshell. If you don't have the knee issues, take the heels in as close to the base of the torso as you can. And again, walk back on those sit bones. You can hold the feet, Again, called a cobbler because cobblers used to hold the shoe between the feet and then work on the shoe. So you can just allow the feet to splay out a little bit if you'd like, and then think those legs a little bit closer to the ground. You can butterfly a little bit. And then if you'd like, you can go into diamond, taking the hands in front of the heart center, popping back on the sit bones and coming up. And keep a strong core here. And then you can come forward. And then let's transition over to tabletop, and from tabletop into downward facing dog. So wrists are underneath the elbows and shoulders. Hands are widespread here if you can. If you do have wrist issues, remember you can roll up the front of the mat and cushion your hands that way. You can come up on fists and keep the wrists more in a neutral or straight position. So do what is right for you again there. So hands widespread here if you can. Knees under the hips, curling the toes under, and then pressing the buttocks up and then back. And you're in downward facing dog. You can adjust your stance a little bit wider if you choose. Press the palms into the floor, the feet into the floor. The inside of the elbows come forward just a little bit. And keep breathing. And then you can do a three-legged dog. Stand on the right foot and extend the left leg up towards the ceiling. And then if you want to add a hip opener, bend that leg and bring your left heel towards the right buttock. And then extend that leg up and bring it back down. Then take that right leg up. Three-legged dog on this side. And then if you choose, bend and bring the right heel towards the left buttock. And then extend the leg up and sweep it down. Walk the hands in towards the feet and then to the shins. And bring yourself up on strong, strong, strong legs. And inhale up. Exhale down. And just feel the effects of the different movements that you've done thus far. Always taking that moment between the postures just to feel. Breathe, relax, feel. Let's do a few sun breaths here, sweeping those arms overhead on the inhalation, exhaling as you come back down. Again, inhaling up. Let's wiggle the fingers and the thumbs. Inhale up. Add wrist rotations. Inhale up, bring the palms together in prayer position, press them firmly together and bring them back in front of the heart center. Again, inhale up, exhale out and around. And then let's work the hands and the wrists a bit, just interlacing the fingers and working the wrists out a bit. And then you can make an infinity sign or a figure 8 sign. That'll work up the lower arms a little bit more. And then recross, again, circles and figure 8s. Coming together, keeping the fingers interlaced, tug. And then recross and tug again. Palms together in prayer position. On the inhalation, come up, bringing the forearms together, opening the palms towards the sky. Exhaling, the palms come back together and down. One more. And then again, we'll focus on some gentle twists, then we'll do a twist to the chair back. And we'll probably do one more seated twist when we're back on our mats. So a very simple twist, just the arms at the sides of the body. You're standing tall in mountain. On your inhalation, take your right shoulder and your gaze back. And then on the exhalation, bring yourself back to center. Inhale as you twist off to the left. Exhale back, off to the right, and back, and to your left, and back. Floating the arms out, stacking the arms, another simple twist. Inhale, right elbow and gaze go back. On the exhalation, come back to center. Inhale to the left. Exhale back. Off to the right. Back to center. Off to your left. And back to center. And then we'll move into the seated chair twist. So this is a pretty intense stretch. So the chair seat is facing you, and then I'm going to sit down with my right thigh closest to the chair back. The object of this is to try and get the upper body parallel to the chair back, and that probably won't happen right away. Again, remember the journey that yoga is, so listen to your own body. We're going to turn to face the chair back. I'm going to grasp the left top of the chair back with my left hand. I'm going to try and pull that shoulder a little bit closer. I take my right hand and place it on the chair back itself, and that's going to push into the chair and try to bring my right shoulder back. So if the left shoulder comes forward and the right shoulder goes back, my upper body is a little more parallel to the back of the chair. Again, pull with the left hand, press with the right. If you'd like, you can take your gaze back. Just breathe. And then come back to center and release. And then we'll just walk around and bring the left thigh closest to the chair back. Now the right hand will take the top of the chair back. The left hand will press into the chair back. So pull your right shoulder in, press the left shoulder away. And the gaze can go out over your left shoulder here if you'd like. And then you can release and come up to standing. And I'll take the chair off to the side for now. Let's do a little bit of balance work, so you can just rock back and forth on the feet. If it helps to be off the mat, you can do so. Sometimes it's a little bit easier to balance that way. And then just splay the feet out to the side and do the same thing. You can try walking around on your toe tips a little bit. If you have little ones in your life, toddlers, you find that they're walking on their toe tips quite a bit. And then let's do the crane posture. Find a focal point on the floor or the wall across from you. Make sure that the feet are nicely grounded, so the pad behind the big toe and little toe are pressing into the mat and the corners of the foot are pressing in. We'll go into crane, so the wings float out. We're standing tall on the left leg, and we're just going to see if we can bring the right foot up off the mat. And it's okay to fall out of the posture. Just to reestablish your base and go back in. Then we'll move to the other side, standing grounded on that right foot. Again, you can be next to the wall, next to a chair. Okay, I'm going to bring the chair back and just demonstrate doing Cosmic Dancer to the chair seat. So I'll be standing on my right foot, and I'm going to take my left knee to the chair back. And then just reach back and grasp that ankle or the top of the foot, and then see if I can take that leg back a little bit. So stretching out the quad muscles a bit. Then you can release from the chair back if you choose. And then going to the other side, standing now on the left foot, taking the right knee to the chair back and holding on to the ankle or the top of the foot. And again, you can stay here. Or you can move away from the chair. Okay. Then we'll do Warrior Two. We know that the yogic warrior is considered a peacekeeper, also called warriors of light. They're strong, but compassionate, respectful. Arms out. We're in a 5-point star position now with the arms parallel to the floor. You're going to turn your left toes in just a bit and the right toes away completely and adjust your stance as necessary. Gaze is out over your right fingertips. Take a nice deep inhalation here. And then on the exhalation, just sink into Proud Warrior Two. Again, proud, confident, strong, able to meet the challenges that we have in our lives. The longer you stay in a posture, the more that you are strengthening the body. But remember, if you're getting tired, you might start quivering a little bit or feel a little bit wobbly. So as long as you're safe and stable, you can stay into the posture. When you're not, move out of it. So the feet are parallel now, and we'll move to the other side. Now the right foot comes in and the left foot turns out. We gaze out over those left fingertips. Nice deep inhalation here. And then softly bend that forward leg, the left leg. Over time, you'd like to get that inner thigh more or less parallel with the floor. Press carefully up, turn the feet parallel, and step the feet together and take a sun breath here. And then we'll just do a little bit of stargazing to a forward triangle bend, and then we'll return to the chair, or to the floor, excuse me. So either take your hands to your hips or hold on to your forearms behind the body. Step the left foot back, right foot is forward, and we're going to square the hips and the shoulders to the front. On an inhalation, do your bit of a back bend here. And then on the exhalation, come upright and start forward bending. And we'll just keep the upper torso parallel to the floor here. If you need to, it's okay to softly bend that forward leg a little bit. And then we'll press on up. And now the left foot steps forward, right foot is back. Square yourself forward. So stargazing, just take the gaze up. Imagine looking at a beautiful starlit sky. And then come upright and come forward and down. Again, okay to softly bend the forward leg. This can also be done to a chair seat if you want to. The hands could be released to the floor underneath the shoulders. And then we'll come up and come back. Take a sun breath here. And then we'll transition back to the mat, and we'll do a full body stretch on our tummies. So just come down, one arm or both arms in front, both feet walked away. And then let's do a diagonal stretch here. So let's lift the right arm and hand up and the left leg, left foot up. And come down. And then the left hand, left arm, right foot, right leg. And come back down. And then take the hands back by the hips, away from the body just a bit. You can rest your chin or your forehead on the mat. We're going to do a little bit of locust, but first let's just bend the right leg and see if we can lift that thigh up off the floor a little bit. And then release it down, and then bend the left leg and bring it up and down. And then the right straight leg up and down, and the left leg up and down. And then to go into the full locust, you can bring the upper body up and see if you can get those legs up off the floor. Back strengthening work. Come down, let's take the hands or the arms underneath the shoulders, and we'll press up into tabletop. Take the knees apart, toes together, and then press back into an extended child's pose for just a moment. And then we'll come back up and come into Dandasana for just a moment, which is a staff posture with the legs extended out in front of us. And then we'll flex the feet. Take the hands back by the hips. You can even tuck your thumbs underneath the body. Just take a few nice deep breaths here. And then just a simple twist while we're sitting here. Nice deep inhalation. On the exhalation, twist to the right, left hand taking the outside of your right leg and your right arm going out behind you. And then come back to center. Floating the arms out, inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate now to the left, right hand taking the outside of the left leg and the left arm going out behind you. And come back to center. And then we're going to try a deeper twist. It's called Half Lord of the Fishes pose. Ardha, Matsiyan, Rashana, I think. Probably pronouncing that wrong. But what we're going to do is keep the left leg extended. You're going to bend the right and then take the right foot to the outside of the left leg. And then we're going to twist to our right. I'm reassessing something. I think the left leg needs to be bent here. So left leg bent, cross right over left. Find your sit bones. And what you want to do is take your elbow either to the outside of that leg or take your right knee and the crook of your left arm and twist. Okay, arms out. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate. Your right hand can come down to the mat behind you, and then take your gaze off to the right. and then come back to center and release. Now we'll bend the right leg, take the left leg across the right, float the arms out. Now we'll be twisting to the left. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, rotate. Left hand coming down to the mat. Take the gaze off to the left and breathe. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's extend those legs out. You can do a little bit of a knee massage here, lower leg massage if you'd like. And then you can use your yoga roll down to come back to the mat, coming to the end of class now. So let's draw those legs in, roll out the back, and then just do a simple double bent leg twist. On an exhalation, take those bent legs off to the left. Your gaze can go off to the right. Bring the right leg up, take the left one up to meet it, release the feet back to the mat and realign. And then take those bent legs in, and this time release them off to the right side. Gaze above you or over your left fingertips. With the gaze above you, bring up the upper bent leg, then the lower one comes up to meet it. And again, you can release to the mat. If you'd like, you can do a few windshield washer movements here. And then just extend into the full Shavasana. Okay to do legs up the wall if you choose at this time. Always nice to have another blanket or another layer of clothing to put on when you go into the final Shavasana. So once again, just release and relax and let go. Quiet the body, quiet the mind. Visualize the mind as that beautiful mountain lake with a beautiful reflective surface, calm surface, and cool and clear water. Yoga is considered meditation in motion. When doing the different postures, the mind doesn't wander as much. So mind and body released and relaxed. Shift your gaze now towards the heart center. And again, visualize your own light radiating outward to the edges of your own body, and then moving beyond to your family, your home, your neighbors. Let that light radiate outward to your community, your state, your country, the world we live in, and the planet we walk on, all benefiting from your light. Let's stay in a quiet, peaceful place now for just a moment or two. Breathing in, breathing out. And now let's bring our awareness back to this place and this time. We can take the hands together at the heart center, and if you choose, connect the thumbs with the heart center and bow the head. I'd like to offer the prayer of loving kindness. May all beings be happy. May all beings be healthy. May all beings be safe. May all beings prosper. May all beings see the divine light that shines within them. And may all beings be free. Namaste. And thank you so much for practicing with me once again. I hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday season, and hope to see you in the new year. Again, take care. Namaste.